What if the problem isn't your thyroid? What if the real issue is your immune system? For millions of people around the world, thyroid dysfunction does not begin in the thyroid itself. It begins in the immune system. The very system designed to protect the body suddenly misidentifies thyroid tissue as a threat. And when that happens, the butterfly-shaped gland in your neck becomes the target of a slow internal battle. Tonight, we explore the autoimmune fire behind two of the most common thyroid disorders, Hashimoto's thyroiditis and Graves' disease. Because sometimes the thyroid isn't failing, it's under attack. Your immune system is an extraordinary defense network. It constantly scans for threats, viruses, bacteria, toxins, abnormal cells. To perform this task, immune cells rely on recognition systems. They must distinguish between self and non-self. But in autoimmune disease, that recognition fails. The immune system begins targeting the body's own tissues. When the thyroid becomes that target, autoimmune thyroid disease emerges. Hashimoto's thyroiditis is the most common cause of hypothyroidism in developed countries. In this condition, the immune system produces antibodies against thyroid proteins. The two most important antibodies are thyroid peroxidase antibodies, TPOAb, thyroglobulin antibodies, TgAb. These antibodies trigger chronic inflammation inside thyroid tissue. Over time, immune cells infiltrate the gland. Healthy thyroid follicles are gradually destroyed. Hormone production slowly declines. The metabolic furnace begins to dim. Hashimoto's develops slowly, often over many years. In early stages, TSH may still appear normal. T4 levels may remain stable, but subtle symptoms emerge. Fatigue, brain fog, cold intolerance, weight gain, dry skin, hair thinning. Because these symptoms are non-specific, the autoimmune process may go unnoticed until thyroid function finally drops. While Hashimoto's destroys thyroid tissue, Graves' disease stimulates it. In Graves', the immune system produces antibodies called TSH receptor antibodies, TRAb. These antibodies mimic the signal of TSH. They bind to thyroid receptors and continuously stimulate hormone production. The thyroid becomes overactive. Hormone output increases dramatically. The metabolic engine shifts into overdrive because thyroid hormone accelerates metabolism. Graves' disease produces symptoms of metabolic excess. Rapid heartbeat, heat intolerance, weight loss despite appetite, tremors, anxiety, insomnia, muscle weakness. Some patients develop a characteristic condition known as Graves' ophthalmopathy. Immune cells attack tissues behind the eyes. This causes eye inflammation and protrusion. It is a visible reminder of the immune system's misdirected aggression. Autoimmune disease rarely has a single cause. Instead, it arises from a combination of factors. Researchers often describe three components: genetic susceptibility, environmental triggers, immune system together, these create the conditions for autoimmune activation. Certain genetic variants increase susceptibility to autoimmune thyroid disease. These genes often influence immune regulation pathways. However, genetics alone does not guarantee disease. Many people carry susceptibility genes without developing thyroid autoimmunity. Which brings us to the second component: triggers. Several environmental factors have been associated with autoimmune thyroid activation. These may include viral infections, chronic stress, excess iodine, exposure nutrient deficiencies, environmental toxins, gut microbiome imbalance. These triggers may disrupt immune tolerance. Once tolerance breaks down, immune cells begin targeting thyroid proteins. About 70% of immune activity occurs within the gut. The gut microbiome helps regulate immune tolerance. When gut barrier integrity is compromised, immune activation increases. This can contribute to autoimmune signaling. The thyroid, immune system, and gut microbiome form a complex biological triangle. Disruption in one area influences the others. Autoimmune thyroid disease is fundamentally an inflammatory condition. Inflammatory cytokines interfere with thyroid hormone conversion. They may reduce T4 to T3 conversion efficiency. Even when hormone production appears normal, cellular thyroid signaling may decline. This contributes to symptoms that persist despite normal lab results. One confusing aspect of autoimmune thyroid disease is variability. Symptoms may fluctuate. Hormone levels may shift. Periods of stability may be followed by sudden changes. This occurs because immune activity itself fluctuates. Immune signaling is dynamic, not static. Understanding this variability can help patients make sense of changing symptoms. Diagnosis typically involves a combination of tests: TSH, free T4, free T3 thyroid antibody testing. For Hashimoto's, TPO antibodies are most common. For Graves' disease, TSH receptor antibodies are key markers. Imaging such as thyroid ultrasound may reveal characteristic inflammatory patterns. Treatment depends on the specific condition. For Hashimoto's with hypothyroidism, thyroid hormone replacement may be required. For Graves' disease, options may include medication, radioactive iodine therapy, or surgical intervention. However, emerging research also explores strategies to support immune balance, stress reduction, nutrient optimization, gut health support, anti-inflammatory lifestyle patterns. These do not replace medical treatment, but they may support overall metabolic stability. Research is increasingly focused on immune modulation. Scientists are studying precision immune therapies, microbiome-targeted treatments, personalized nutritional strategies, early antibody detection models. The goal is not only to manage thyroid hormone levels, but to understand and regulate the immune processes behind them. Autoimmune medicine is entering a new era. Your thyroid may be small, but when the immune system targets it, the effects ripple through the entire body. Energy, mood, heart, rhythm, temperature, metabolism, all respond to the signals generated by this tiny gland. In autoimmune thyroid disease, the challenge is not simply hormone imbalance. It is immune miscommunication. Understanding this transforms how we approach thyroid health, because healing begins with clarity. In our next episode, we explore the final piece of the puzzle: how to support thyroid function through lifestyle, nutrition, and metabolic stability. This is Health Reimagined. Continue to Episode 8, The Thyroid Reset, a framework for long-term metabolic balance.